I want to turn now to Colin Robertson. He is the former Canadian diplomat and current vice president at the Canadian Global Affairs Institute. Good morning. So glad you could be with us. Timing is perfect. I want to begin with what we just heard from Zelenskyy. What do you make of his tone and saying that Russia is unstoppable and global institutions are standing by doing nothing in the face of this aggression?
Well, Marcia, he's right. It was a very direct, forthright speech in which he called for the nations to stop Russia now, because he said, if we fall, they're next. And he pointed out that we also need a convention, given the rapid technological developments in warfare around particularly artificial intelligence and drones, which have just become the weapon of choice now.
Yeah, that was an interesting point, saying that the fear of them is like the fear of nuclear weapons spreading.
You know, very much so. So I think he's right on all counts. He also said help Moldova in addition to Ukraine. No, I thought it was a very powerful speech and in stark contrast to the rather meandering introspective speech that Donald Trump gave yesterday.
Well, let's talk about that, too, for a second, because Zelenskyy mentioned Trump in positive terms, and we've seen that turnabout from President Trump on Ukraine. Even in the last 24 hours, Trump taking a different position now, saying that he supports Kyiv retaking land. What do you think about this reversal from Trump and where it goes? What does it practically mean for Ukraine?
Marcia, you put your finger on it. It's the practical. What does it practically mean? Will the United States continue to provide Ukraine with arms and funding support for the war? That remains to be seen. It's been a trickle compared to what came in the last administration. So if Trump follows through now with real action rather than just the words, which can shift from day to day, that would be significant and important, and certainly where the rest of the Western Alliance would like to see Trump go. But let's wait and see where Trump is tomorrow.
What's your analysis of Prime Minister Mark Carney's UN visit, his first as Prime Minister, and what do you think has come from his trip there?
Well, this is a milieu in which he's extremely comfortable. Remember, he's one of them because as an international technocrat turned political leader, he's certainly very well known and highly respected amongst them. And the speech he gave at the Council on Foreign Relations, I thought he laid out the themes of what I think we'll hear will be his pitch on behalf of Canada as Prime Minister, starting off that we have what the world wants in terms of resources, agri-food, and that we personify the values that the world also enjoys, and that we're going to remain open as a country, in contrast to the United States, pointing out that we'll give visas to people that need, because we're still building the country, and then moving into his theme of building Canada, and that what he's been doing in Canada, working with the premiers, First Nations, business, to make us a more competitive nation, and as he's been saying, his sort of single slogan, which is to make us the strongest economy in the G7. So I thought it was a very effective pitch. Now, he was speaking to an audience for whom this would be exactly what they want to hear in terms of the Council on Foreign Relations, but he's honing a pitch on behalf of Canada, which I think is going to go down well, and which we'll hear more of.
And lastly, what are you watching for as he meets with China's Xi Jinping?
Well, I think that will probably happen later. As he pointed out, he did meet with Premier Li, which I think is important. We are re-engaging with China. I think it will be selective re-engagement. There are things China doesn't want to talk about, things we know the Chinese won't deal with on the issues that Canada believes in, but we would like to reestablish, as we have been able to do so in the past, a relationship with which we can do commerce and trade and investment, even if we can't talk about things like human rights. And that's served us very well in the past, and I'm sure we can do it again. And I think that's the road that we'll be taking. I think the Chinese are interested because, again, as Carney said in his pitch, we've got what the world wants. In their case, energy and food.
Colin Robertson is a former Canadian diplomat and current vice president at the Canadian Global Affairs Institute. As always, appreciate your time and your analysis. Have a great rest of the day.